Imagine being born in a tiny wooden house. No money, no fancy schools, just hard work, pain, and big dreams. This is the story of a poor boy who taught himself to read, who rose from nothing and became the president who freed millions of slaves and saved his country from breaking apart. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more amazing history stories. Alright, let's travel back to the year 1809. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a small wooden cabin in Kentucky, USA. His parents were Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. They were very poor farmers. Lincoln did not grow up in a big city. He did not go to a rich school. In fact, he only went to school for a few months in his whole life. So how did he learn? He taught himself. Young Abraham loved reading. He would borrow any book he could find. He read by the fireplace at night after working long days on the farm. People in his village thought he was strange. While others were playing, he was reading, thinking, and dreaming. As he grew older, Abraham did many jobs. He worked on farms. He split wood for fences. He worked in a store. He even became a boatman on the Mississippi River. Through all these jobs, he saw something that changed his life forever. He saw slavery. He saw black men and women being bought and sold like animals. He saw people being beaten and treated as if they were not human. This made him angry and sad. He believed deep in his heart that slavery was wrong. Slowly, Abraham decided, I want to enter politics. I want to change things. Abraham Lincoln moved to the state of Illinois. There, he started to study law and became a lawyer. He was not rich. He was not powerful. But he had the strong weapons, his words and his honesty. People trusted him so much that they called him Honest Abe. He entered politics and became a member of the Illinois state legislature. Later, he joined a new political group called the Republican Party, which opposed the spread of slavery. Lincoln became famous for his speeches. He spoke clearly, powerfully, and simply. He didn't just speak to people's minds. He spoke to their hearts. In 1860, something amazing happened. Abraham Lincoln was elected the 16th President of the United States, but not everyone was happy. Many states in the southern United States depended on slavery for their farms and plantations. They feared Lincoln would end slavery, so, one by one, some southern states left the United States. They created their own country called the Confederate States of America. The United States was now divided, and soon it would fall into war. In 1861, a terrible conflict began, the American Civil War. It was North versus South. The North, the Union, wanted to keep the country together and later to end slavery. The South, the Confederacy, wanted to leave the Union and keep slavery. Lincoln faced the hardest job a president can face, to lead a country at war with itself. The war was brutal. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers died. Families were broken. The country was bleeding, but Lincoln did not give up. He believed the United States was one nation, and it must stay together. In the middle of the war, Lincoln took a bold step. On January 1, 1863, he signed a famous document called the Emancipation Proclamation. This document declared that all slaves in the rebellious southern states were now free. This did not instantly free every slave in America, but it changed the purpose of the war. Now, the war was not only about saving the Union, it was also about ending slavery. Thousands of formerly enslaved people joined the Union Army and fought for their own freedom. The Emancipation Proclamation was the beginning of the end of slavery in the United States. In 1863, one of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War took place in a town called Gettysburg. After the battle, Lincoln gave a short speech there, now called the Gettysburg Address. The speech was only about 2 minutes long, but it became one of the most famous speeches in history. In it, Lincoln said that the United States was a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. He said the soldiers who died must not die for nothing. The living must continue their struggles so that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. In simple words, he reminded America that it must stay a country of freedom, equality, and democracy. By 1865, the war was almost over. The North was winning, the South was weak and close to surrender. Lincoln had achieved great things. He had saved the Union, and he had pushed the nation toward ending slavery forever. But just when victory seemed complete, tragedy struck. On the night of April 14, 1865, Lincoln went to watch a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. While he was sitting in the theater, a man named John Wilkes Booth, who supported the South, entered the president's box and shot him in the head. Lincoln was taken to a nearby house, but he never woke up. He died the next morning, on April 15, 1865. The nation was in shock. The president who had led them through war and toward freedom was gone. Today, Abraham Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest presidents in American history. Why? He rose from poverty to the highest office in the country. He saved the United States from breaking apart. He took powerful steps to end slavery. He stood for honesty, equality, and courage even when the whole nation was divided. His face is carved on Mount Rushmore. His statue sits in the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and his words still inspire people who fight for freedom and justice around the world. Abraham Lincoln, as life teaches us something important. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need a perfect education. If you are honest, hardworking, and brave enough to stand for what is right, you can change the world. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment Honest Abe, and subscribe for more powerful history stories. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.